We probably know more about the effect of violence in media, whether it be television, movies, music, or the internet, than about any other single aspect of how media content affects kids. Violence has been studied for more than 50 years by a whole variety of different methodologies. And one of the things that we have found is that virtually all children are changed by this exposure to violence, and they're changed in one or more of three different ways. The first is, particularly with the youngest children, they have an increase in their fear and anxiety. They see the world as a violent and scary place because media inflate the apparent prevalence of violence in the world. Something that happens to all of us is that we are desensitized by media violence. In other words, the more violence we see, the less it bothers us. The less we are thinking about the pain and suffering that is being suffered, and the less we think about how both the perpetrator of violence and the victim are hurt by it. And we start to see violence as entertainment. And finally, in some small group, and we don't know who those people are in advance, it increases their aggressive thoughts and behaviors. It lowers their threshold for moving to violence as a means of resolving conflict or prevailing in a disagreement. And unfortunately, we can't determine which of those kids are going to have that kind of reaction. One of the things that is really interesting is even some of the worst material, if discussed with a parent, can be turned on its head and turned into a learning experience. For example, a violent image where the kid is going, wow, that's really exciting, you know, the good guy shot the bad guy. The parent can say, let's stop for a second. What do you think it felt like to be hit by a bullet? What do you think that guy felt as he fell to the ground paralyzed? What do you think his family felt when he died? And place it in context for the child so they understand that this is not just, as one researcher has called it, happy violence, where the good guy prevails by shooting everybody in sight, but that violence has real ramifications for both the victim and the perpetrator of that violence.